everyone, I'm JG. Welcome back to Music Forever, where today I'm reviewing the new album from Paramore, After Laughter. I've been a Paramore fan for a while now, and I like all of their albums. However, the thing is, none of them have really connected with me a ton. I mean, I enjoy them all. I don't think any of them are bad. I mean, some of them do have their weak points, but as a whole, the biggest complaint I really have is that it hasn't connected with me quite as much as some other bands have, and for that reason, you know, Paramore, they're not one of my favorites, but I don't hate them. However, with this new album here, After Laughter, I was expecting to like it, of course, because I liked all their other albums, but I got something completely different here. Something that's, honestly, not gonna lie, as of right now at least, I know the album has only been out for a few days, but with the amount of times I've listened to it, I think this is my favorite Paramore album yet. Paramore have decided to change their sound on this album, moving away from the pop-punk and alternative rock sound of their previous efforts, moving more towards the 1980s leading synth-pop, new wave kind of sound, which is a sound that's been really popular in recent years in music. You can see it in groups that, like the 1975 and churches that kind of brought this sound back. You know, they've been really popular groups, but specifically the 1975 with the album they released last year. I'm not even going to say the entire thing, it's just so long, the album title, but that was a really popular album for them. And of course, you know, that style of music has just become really popular. And it's a style of music that, while I enjoy it, it's not my favorite thing in the world. So, you know, it's kind of surprising that I like this album from Paramore as much as I do, but I think they happen to pull off the sound very well here. And I'm just really happy to see that there is a band out there that could change their sound and, you know, to something, I guess you could say, poppier, and still have it sound really good. I mean, unlike some other bands in 2017 that haven't been able to do that. The reason why this sound change works so well is because Paramore seem to just move into this new type of sound so well, and they manage to pull it off really well while still bringing, you know, good lyrics and a lot of genuineness into the music itself. And it just feels really natural here. It doesn't feel like they're trying to sell or anything like that. And while the style of music that they're trying out here, this more, you know, 80s leading new wave kind of sound, has been popular in recent years, it's not like some other bands that have moved more towards a poppy sound just to make more money off of it. I can clearly tell that, you know, Paramore just happened to also like this music, and that's what they wanted to try here, and I think it works great. Hayley Williams is a great vocalist, I've always thought that, but here specifically on this album, I think is some of her best work vocally. She's just, you know, all over the place when it comes to the vocals, in a good way though. Especially you can tell on the lead single here, Hard Times, which was a track I wasn't really all that into the first time I heard it, really the first few times I heard it, but with time hearing it in the context of the entire album, I grew to really like it. It's kind of a fun song, just really cool stuff. And this album is a bit strange in the fact that while all the songs here sound really upbeat for the most part, sound really happy, like that lead single Hard Times I was just talking about, lots of the lyrics here don't exactly match that. They sound, if you pay attention to the lyrics, lots of them have to do with more, you know, somber subject matters like depression and anxiety and all these, you know, not really happy things, but they put it together with this really happy sounding music, and it's just, you know, kind of cool in my opinion how they managed to combine those two things, especially on the track Fake Happy, because I feel like that track, definitely one of my favorites on the album, if not my favorite. I like the way it starts off with the more acoustic part. You think it's going to be a slower track, but then, of course, you know, it picks up the pace later on. And overall, it's cool. I like the lyrics, how, you know, she's kind of calling out people, how, you know, she feels like she's fake happy, and how everyone else is also kind of like that. I feel like that kind of sums up a lot of the lyrics on this album, how it has this, you know, kind of aura of happiness around all the music, yet if you really look closer, it's not really happy. And I sure know that Paramore aren't the only band or the first band to ever put, you know, depressing lyrics to really zany, upbeat music. However, I think they just happen to pull it off really well here. If there's one other thing on this album that I really need to applaud, it's the bass work. Throughout the album, you just hear this really funky bass going off, and it's just, you know, I really love some nice funky bass on my albums. Just, it's fantastic. The keyboards also play a much bigger role here on this album, but they don't completely overshadow the guitars and the bass work as I previously mentioned. They're there, but, you know, given the style of music that Paramore are playing on this project, it makes sense for them to be there, and it's incorporated nicely. And I already know that I mentioned that the lyrics are, you know, not exactly super happy compared to the music here, but concerning the lyrics themselves, I think they're some of the best that Paramore have written. Overall, in the past, I did like Paramore's lyrics. However, for the most part, they didn't really stand out to me all that much, and that kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier, how the band as a whole didn't stand out to me a ton. I mean, they did have some songs before that I didn't really like the lyrics on, but here are just a lot of songs that I really like the lyrics on. I think lyrically this might be their best album yet. And it certainly goes back to the concept of them comparing these really sad lyrics to these very upbeat, instrumental parts. I really feel like Paramore on this album were putting a lot of effort into the lyrics and the instrumentals and putting them together in a very interesting new way so that the final product would be, interesting. This album isn't without some flaws, however. One of them I think is the track 26, which I don't hate this track and I don't even dislike it really. I still like the track, it's just one of the least interesting in my opinion. It doesn't really have that funky bass going through it. It just has a softer sound to it as a whole. It feels like something that could have fit on an older Paramore album, I guess. I mean, it does not lack the kind of pop-punk sound of their previous works, but, it doesn't exactly have that new wave sort of synth-poppy sound of this album also. It's just one of the least interesting here in my opinion. And then the second to last track we get here, No Friend, it's just kind of boring also. It doesn't really have much of lyrics to it. It just has these vocal parts going on in the background. It just kind of sounds like rambling, and it's just not that interesting in my opinion. I mean, maybe that's just me, but those are the tracks I wasn't really feeling. So yeah, overall, like I said before, I was never a massive fan of Paramore before, but after hearing this album, I really like this project. I think I'm going to have to pick myself up a physical copy of it because I'm really enjoying it. Overall, if you're a Paramore fan, you should definitely check this out. You'll probably enjoy something here. But if you're really someone that's just into the pop-punk kind of Paramore, maybe you won't enjoy the style that they're going for here. If you're a fan of that, synth-pop, new wave kind of sound that's kind of come back in recent years, maybe you're going to also really enjoy this project, even if you haven't enjoyed Paramore before, because that's really the style of music that they're playing here. I feel like this is a project that can get more people into Paramore because it has them going in a different direction than what they've done previously. And I know pop-punk isn't everyone's cup of tea, but this style of music is kind of, completely different. So if you're into this style of music and you don't like pop-punk, check this out anyway, because you may like it. The lyrical maturity along with the instrumental advancements is something else that might take people that were never quite a fan of this band to begin with and make them new fans. This is definitely a very, I guess you could say, divisive album in the fact that some people may not like it even though they like Paramore's previous efforts, but it could be something that someone else will really like, but they don't like Paramore's older records. Interesting how that works out, but I think this might be the Paramore's best album yet. As I said before, it's only been out a few days. I've listened to it a lot in that past few days, but maybe with time I won't like it as much. But as of right now, I'm really digging this project, and I highly recommend it to you. Thank you for watching this video. Yeah, if you have your own opinion on the album, leave it down in the comment section below. I'd like to see it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel to see more reviews. Thank you for watching, and stay golden.